and welcome back to my channel, Defying the Stars, Tarot and Astrology. Today I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading for you. This one's going to be specifically for the singles out there. This is a reading to kind of figure out where and how you will find your next relationship, where and how you will find that person. This may be the relationship you've been waiting for all your life. It could also just be whatever's next on your journey. Spirit works in its own time. It sends us people to teach us things sometimes, and it sends us what we're meant for. So, you know, if you have more lessons to learn, please don't blame me if your next relationship is a disaster. You may have had some more lessons to learn, but this will hopefully help guide you along your path. I am going to be using this time some new runes that I got to identify our groups. I'm by no means an expert in rune casting yet, so I won't be actually reading with them, but I will be telling you about the specific rune you chose and kind of what it may mean in the context of your reading. So group 1 will be this one. Try to let it focus on it. Group 2 will be this one. Group 3, this one. And group 4, this one. So pick out whichever one is calling to you, listen to your gut, take a deep breath, and then find the timestamps in the comment box below to get to your reading, and I'll see you there. All right, group 1, we'll get started with you. I'm just gonna move the others off to the side here, probably all the way off to the side here. Should have done this before I started recording, forgive me. I get so excited. All right, so group 1, we'll start with your rune stone. I'll try to get you a better look at it, at the symbol. So your rune is Thagaz. This is a rune that's associated with the day or the dawn. It's associated with intuition and finding the light within. So already getting a feel for your reading, like we are looking at following your gut to your person. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. So let's get you going here. I'm gonna kind of center this more in frame so we have the identifier for you. All right, so group 1, I am going to start off with just sort of where, under what circumstances will you find your person? And get 4 or 5 cards on that subject. Anything else on where group 1, how group 1 will find their next relationship. Okay. So I'm seeing that it is going to be in something of a traditional setting. The Hierophant card is associated with marriage, so you could meet them at a wedding or something like that. You could meet them through family, through religious institutions, any kind of traditional setting that you find yourself in. The Hierophant is also kind of a card of, you know, like that higher worldly knowledge. So it could be, you know, through school, through, you know, if you're going to college or university, you could meet them there. The next card is the Star. The Star is all about following your own path and reaching your highest good, kind of finding your purpose. So I think wherever this is, it's going to be as part of your quest to find yourself and where you belong. It could be, going back to the Hierophant, it could be, a course of study that's supposed to get you where you want to be. If you are embarking on some kind of religious study or getting more involved in some kind of community group. The star is also the Aquarius card, which is associated with community and ties like that. So I'm getting a strong feeling of some kind of community aspect. There's also, going back to your rune, there's that intuition aspect. So I would say follow your intuition to whatever you're feeling guided towards, especially when it comes to finding your place in community, because I think this is where you're going to find your person. And the next card out is the Fool reversed. The Fool is about starting new journeys and taking risks. With it reversed, I'm sensing a little bit of caution from you. I'm thinking when you meet this person, you're not going to feel ready to dive right in. And that's okay. I'm sensing that it's okay to take your time here. With the Three of Cups coming out last, I'm sensing that this is going to start off something lighthearted. It's going to start off in some kind of group setting, some kind of group celebration. The Three of Cups with the Hierophant is why I thought it might be at like a wedding or something like that. Three of Cups is also a card about community and, feeling like a part of a group. So I'm really sensing you are meeting this person in a group setting. If you're not currently involved in any kind of group activities, if you're not involved in any kind of institutions or, whatever your passion is, I encourage you to go out and find some kind of group to be a part of, because that is also where you're going to find your next relationship. If you are in that group, well, keep going, because you're going to find your person there. Just to give you a clue in here, I'm going to see, kind of what the nature of this relationship will be. Whether it's going to be, a brief thing or super serious. So, Spirit, if you can tell us a little bit about what kind of relationship this will be. Just give us a few cards, please. Okay. There's a few cards. See what we've got here. We've got all reversals, so this could be a learning experience for you. I'm gonna be honest. The first card we have here is the Four of Wands reversed. The Four of Wands in the Shakespeare deck has the message, "Delays have dangerous ends," a quote from Henry IV, Part 1. The Four of Wands is usually associated with homecoming, that happy, stable feeling. With it reversed, I think it's talking about here, you're coming out of a place where you didn't feel very stable. I don't feel like it's talking about this upcoming relationship itself, like that's going to be unstable. I feel like this is more you. Especially with that delays message. It's like you may be putting yourself back out there. So I feel like this is a message for you to go ahead and give it a try. And the next card is the Death card reversed in the Shakespeare deck. That is King Lear, who definitely struggled with change. So the Death card reversed is all about resisting change, resisting development, resisting growth. It's an avoidance card. And so going back to this stuff about following your purpose and finding some groups to belong to, I feel like maybe you've been resisting that for a while. and it's time to go ahead and do that. Take the plunge, so to speak. And then we have the Nine of Cups reversed. In this deck, the quote on it is, "Love comforteth like sunshine after rain," from Shakespeare's Venus and Adonis. You know, the Nine of Cups is typically a card of contentment, fulfillment. You are satiated, you are complacent. With it reversed, I think you're realizing that something is missing. You may have a lot of full cups right now, but there's one that isn't, and you are struggling with that. I think this next relationship is going to be one that teaches you a lot about yourself, about taking risks and not putting things off, about avoiding avoidance, and actually going for what it is that you truly want and need. And I think that this relationship is going to help you recognize what it is that you truly want and need. I'm going to pull up next some astrology cards to maybe give us an indicator of what kind of person this will be, maybe help you recognize them when they come along. So Spirit, if you can give me any kind of placements for this person, that would be great. That's a lot out the bat. I really would prefer one or two. Okay. So we have Mars and Taurus. That could be a person's placement. That is also where Mars is currently, so it could be an indicator that this is happening like now. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else about this person? Their placements. All right, they really wanted you to know about Mars and Taurus, but okay. We have Uranus and Leo. I don't think you're likely to meet a person right now with Uranus and Leo because generationally that would be a very old person. But I think that it may indicate, now if you are part of an older generation, that could be their placement, but it's more of a generational thing. So Uranus and Leo, I think, is indicative of a person who is kind of a revolutionary in terms of creativity, in terms of personal identity, in terms of performance. This could be someone that really kind of shifts the way that you see yourself, honestly. I suspect they're going to be a very, very unique individual from that card. Anything else you want to tell us about them, Spirit? Ooh, okay. So Mercury in Leo came out pretty strongly here. So again, someone very expressive. That could be their actual placement. I'm currently dating a Mercury in Leo, so it is a hoot and a half, let me tell you. They are very talkative and very expressive, and they love to be heard and to share. And so you may be encountering someone like that. And they may kind of overwhelm you at first. Just looking at the cards that we had for you, you know, the reticence that I see there, this may be exactly what you need, because this is someone who's gonna just kind of barge right in, and they're not really gonna give you a choice. I was talking to one of my Leo friends about that very concept last night, and she was talking about how a lot of her friends are introverts, and I said, yeah, we need people like you to just kind of barge in and not take no for an answer, because otherwise we're not coming out of our shells. So that may be a factor. This is going to be someone who is very upfront, very expressive. They may even make you a little nervous with how, how blunt and aggressive they are, but they mean well. Last card I have for you is Moon in Cancer. So we're not, time-wise, we're not near a Cancer moon, but I believe we're coming up on a Cancer full moon soon. I can't remember off the top of my head whether it's at the end of this month or the end of next month. Or no, it already passed. I'm sorry. Excuse my rambling. So we've already passed a full moon in Cancer recently, but Cancer moon people are very guarded in their emotions. They bury things pretty deep, and if they're not especially self-aware, they can kind of be a little oblivious to their own feelings. They're very sensitive, very emotional, but unless they're very in touch, they can have a hard time expressing those feelings or even fully understanding them. So you may be dealing with someone who is very emotional, someone who is quite sensitive, that you'll have to kind of tread carefully with. Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting relationship for you, Group 1. For final thoughts, I am going to pull some of my handwritten advice cards, see what advice Spirit has for you in terms of how to find this person, what to do when you do find them, just sort of general guidance here, and see what we can get for you. Okay. So falling out of the deck is treat yourself. So I think that is a definite sign that it's okay to have a little fun here. It is okay to relax and let go and just enjoy yourself. Not everything has to be life or death, super duper serious. And we have seize the day. So going back to that, Four of Wands reversed with delays and Death reversed with avoiding change. This is saying, no, today's the day. Go ahead and take it. And, when it comes to potentially, joining a community, seize the day, do it. All right, so a lot of cards came out, and I'll just run through. These may all have messages for you, so I'm just going to throw them out there. Take them if they resonate. If they don't, it may not apply to your specific situation. But we have talk to and play with your inner child. I think that's very important for you, Group 1, in terms of the star and reconnecting with your purpose. And, the Three of Cups is a very playful card, so it's a sign to get out there and enjoy yourself. This one says there's a bumpy road ahead, but you have to take it. I always take that card to mean that, whatever obstacles you're about to run into, they are for your highest good. So go ahead and embrace them. You can't change the past, only the future. So if you're stuck on something in your past, that's a sign that it really is time to leave that behind and focus on what you can control, focus on what you can impact. Learn from your mistakes. So if something in your past is haunting you, learn from it and take it into your next relationship and do it better next time. Say you're sorry. So if you have something that's kind of weighing on you guilt-wise, just say you're sorry and get it out of your system. You need this to grow. So I think this is a clear indicator that this relationship is a stepping stone to your growth. And finally, the happiest endings follow the most adversity. That tells me that this is part of your path to get to that happy ending. And you'll just have to follow it wherever it leads. Remember that Spirit is never going to hand you more than you can handle. The universe is not trying to break you. It is trying to mold you into your best self. So carry that with you. And, I think that we have some clear direction for you, Group 1. It's going to be in some kind of group setting. You need to get out there and get involved and take some big steps and see where it leads you. And it will all be for the best in the end. So Group 1, I hope that was informative and helpful, and I hope to see you again in a future reading. Welcome, Group 2. I'm going to put this over here. Group 2, for your reading, your rune is, I'm trying to get it in a good light here so you can actually see the symbol on it, but I'm a little challenged with my setup right now. Your rune is Nauthis. It is a symbol of need and necessity. There's a little bit of hardship associated with this rune. That could be indicative of the energy you're coming out of, more than the energy you're going into. It might be where you're at right now. It's associated with, you know, friction and shadow as well. And it's a very shallow reading of it because I'm not super familiar with the runes yet, but those are the base ideas with that rune. So let's jump right into your reading. And the first question I asked for group 1, and I'm going to do the same for you, is kind of where and how, under what circumstances you will find your next relationship. See what we got for you, group 2. Alright, so see how many cards that is. Okay. Anything else for group 2? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna give it to you straight, group 2. I think it's gonna be a while. And that may be why you had the rune that you did, because there's a little bit of a dry spell here I'm seeing. I'm seeing 3 of Wands reversed, which is about, you know, waiting for something that's just not coming to fruition. It's like you put your ship out to sea and it's just taking forever to come back. 8 of Wands reversed, that's, you know, that's delays. It's temporary delays. It's not forever, but there are things delayed, blocked. 2 of Swords here. That is a big blockage. That is a big impasse for you. And it's mental. It is, I'm seeing for you, group 2, that you are not in a mental space to find that next relationship. Something is blocking you. There's some kind of indecision, constant mental back and forth that is keeping you from progressing. You see the High Priestess here. That to me is an indicator that it is a good time to look within, to really get in touch with your own intuition, to deeper understand yourself. As much as that may be not what you want to hear right now, because you came to this reading, you're probably hoping to hear that you're going to find someone soon. But with this Wheel of Fortune reversed, I'm seeing that now is just not the time. The Wheel of Fortune is a symbol of divine timing. There are ups and there are downs for everyone. And right now, they're saying that this is not the time in the cycle for you to find your next relationship. This is a time for you to get unblocked, to grow, to I'm really seeing it as kind of a solitary waiting period here. So I'm going to pull some more cards. The next question I asked in my first reading was kind of what kind of relationship it would be, but I'm not seeing a relationship here. So for my next question for you, group 2, I'm just going to ask for what it is that you should be doing here, what it is that you should be working on, where your focus should lie if you are not meant to find someone right now. Okay, get a couple more cards for group 2, a little more guidance for them, please, spirits. I'd like to give them some good advice to get through this time in their lives. Okay, all right, well, we got a few. All right, so this card came out face up for me, so I definitely want to share it with you, since it came out in kind of its own unique way. This is the Hanged Man. In my Shakespeare deck, it is Hamlet. This card I associate almost entirely with this Two of Swords. Two of Swords, that mental indecision, to be or not to be, is so Hamlet. Right now you are in a waiting period. You are in a period where you are figuring things out. You are contemplating. You don't know the way to go, so you're waiting for it. So the next card out for you is the Three of Coins. The phrase on this card is "profits will accrue," a quote from Henry V. To me, this says this is a time to work on material ventures, business ventures, career, work, finances, getting that material side of life in order. And it is going to be a good time for that. I'm sensing that you're working your way towards prosperity, and maybe that's been something that's been keeping you from finding that relationship, because you're struggling in that area and you need to get it right before you can be with someone else. The Sun card. The Sun is always a good card. It is always a sign of good things. I think right now you're meant to enjoy yourself. I think you're meant to enjoy being single. You're meant to enjoy, I'm sensing finding a lot of peace with yourself, finding happiness with yourself. And I know that's such a cliche thing to say. And when I was single, I hated when people would tell me that kind of thing, because I'm like, just because I want a relationship doesn't mean I'm not complete within myself. Just because I want to share my life with someone else doesn't mean I'm not happy on my own. But this is a card, I think it's just asking you to bask in it a little more. Just try to enjoy it a little more. The next card out we have is the Five of Wands reversed. That is a card about internal conflict and internal chaos. The quote on it is from Richard III, a horse, a kingdom for my horse. It's a very frantic energy. It's a very chaotic energy. I think you are really trying to figure out where to go and what to do, just in general, beyond your love life. And the more that you can work on figuring that out, the more that you can calm that chaos. With it coming out right after the Sun, I'm getting the feeling that this is self-imposed a little bit. Like, you are spending so much time worrying about what your next step is and what you should be doing, and feeling pulled in a million different directions, that it's taking you away from what is really a pretty good place for you. The vibe I'm getting from your whole reading right now is just pick a path and stick with it. Stop fighting it. Flow with it. Just pick a course of action and just go with it for a while. Don't try to tinker with it. Don't try to, fix it. And I say this as someone who does this a lot in their own life. I am a constant tinkerer. If something isn't working for me, I'm not patient with it. I am, okay, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, until I figure out what it should be. But sometimes you have to give things a chance. You have to give things time to percolate and develop. And that's what I'm sensing from you. It's like, just relax, just take some time, just follow your path for a while, and see where it goes and what develops. Try to be patient with it, and good things will come. The next card is Judgment. In this sense, I'm feeling Judgment as, and Judgment is often your higher calling. It is, it's not so much about justice or being weighed and measured. It's about Judgment Day, like awakening, coming to that realization of that higher level of what you're meant for and what you should be doing. I'm sensing that if you can calm down and be in a patient space and just enjoy yourself, you will come to a big realization, a big awakening, and that will lead finally to the Magician. The magician in this deck is Shakespeare himself. He is the puppet master. You can see he's holding a puppet version of himself. The magician is all about knowing your power, owning your power, and exerting it to build the life that you want for yourself. And I think that this period of time, and the reason you're not going to be in a relationship anytime soon is because you do need to find your own personal power and learn how to exert it and learn how to pull in what it is you really want. Going back to your rune, Nauthi's a rune of need and hardship and necessity. I am guessing that you have probably been in a scarcity mindset. When we're talking about law of attraction and manifestation and things like that, the concept is that if you are constantly in a space of worry, if you are constantly focused on what you are lacking, you will draw in more worry, more scarcity, more lack. By fixating on those things, you actually are making them harder to get rid of because you keep giving them life. I think that this is a lot about finding yourself in a space where you are realizing how much you have, and you are realizing that more will come, and you can start to relax a bit from that stance of, oh God, where is my next paycheck coming from? Am I going to be able to pay the bills next month? Am I going to be alone forever? Am I ever going to have, peace of mind? Am I ever going to be calm again? Am I always going to be so busy? When you're constantly thinking those thoughts, you're just inviting in more and more of that. And the more you can get away from it and just breathe and be patient and know that things will work out, which is so much easier said than done, I know. The more that you can get to that space, the better you will feel, the better things will be. It's this idea that success attracts success, and that, it's in this card, profits will accrue. Once you have the first coin, more will come. And the more that you can get yourself in that mindset of knowing more is coming and just being patient and working and doing your thing and knowing that it's going to work out, the more it will. Again, I know it's easier said than done, but give it a try. I think it could be good for you. Group 2, for the next set of cards, in group 1 I had asked for kind of information about the next relationship, that person's placements, with my astrology cards, but for you I'm going to ask for timing on when you're going to get to this magician point, because I sense that once you reach this point, that is when you'll be ready for a relationship, and that is when it will be able to manifest and come in. That's when the Wheel of Fortune will turn upright, and you'll be ready for that in your life. So I'm going to ask these astrology cards to kind of help me with time frames on when that might happen, or what needs to happen before it comes along. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Any other clues you can give me on timing? Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Woo, okay. Kind of ignore those and just take the one that popped out here. Okay. So we have Venus in Sagittarius, Venus in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio will come first, and then Venus in Sagittarius. Let me look at my calendar for the year astrologically and see when that's going to be here. Because I do track these kinds of things. So we are looking at fall. There's my personal calendar I need. Okay. So Venus will hit Scorpio in September. So we're looking at fall, I'm thinking. Fall is going to be kind of our general time frame for when you might find this. September, October is where you're going to be seeing these movements of Venus and Scorpio and Sagittarius. So not that long to wait, really. It's giving you a good, 6-7 months to work on you and get to a good place and really be ready for a relationship. Mars and Virgo, I don't know if that's a timing indicator. It could be. Mars is in Taurus right now, so we have quite a few signs for Mars to move through before it gets to Virgo. I can't remember off the top of my head if that's going to happen this year or not, but this could also just be an indicator of energy. Mars in Virgo is an energy of getting your ducks in a row, getting your routines in order, getting your day-to-day chores done, getting your health in a good place. All of those little details, getting those right, that is Mars and Virgo energy. And that may be the energy that you're really needing to encapsulate to get all this in a good place. It is about getting into good routines that you're happy with. Routines in terms of lifestyle, health, diet, work, your day-to-day job, getting all of that in a really good place, getting your financial nitty-gritty in a good place, balancing your checkbook, so to speak. All of this energy is going to be super important to getting you to where you need to be. But again, Venus in Scorpio and Venus in Sagittarius, and those come one after the other. So I think that is a strong indicator that we're looking at fall, September, October this year. I'm going to pull some of my handwritten advice cards for you as well, just to give you some general direction on where to go, what to do, how to use this time. Alright, one more pass through. Anything else for them? Okay, I'm gonna read what I have here. So this is very interesting. If you are in conflict with someone, this is a good time to deal with it. I didn't see that directly in your cards. This may only apply to some of you, but if you are in conflict with someone, the first card that came out was ask how they are feeling. For some of you, this may be an indicator just to talk to yourself, ask how you yourself are feeling. But for some of you, I'm sensing there is definitely some kind of conflict with someone or some kind of separation, distance. This is an indicator that you should be reaching out and that you should be trying to understand. We also have, it may be a miscommunication. That goes right into this idea of asking how they're feeling because you may not fully understand what's going on there. Another card that came out is take control of the situation. If there is some kind of conflict or separation, that may be telling you to take control of it. If there isn't, that's just telling you to take control of your own life. Take charge, be the magician, be the puppet master pulling the strings. This card, very significant. Believe in the impossible. Again, getting to that magician space, that manifestation space. It's just about believing that good things are coming, even if it seems impossible right now. It is that unwavering belief that is going to bring those things in. This card asks, is this a big deal in the grand scheme? So if there's something that's kind of holding you back from moving on, something that you're kind of stuck on, maybe it's this possible conflict you may have in your life, maybe it's something else, but I think it's asking you to put things in perspective. You know, whatever your problems are, is it a big deal in the grand scheme? If you're really stressed or you're feeling pulled in a million different directions, try to prioritize better. Try to look at them and say, okay, how much of this is really a big deal and how much of this is stress that I'm just putting on myself? Because for me, again, just giving you examples, this may not be the case for you, but for me, I put more pressure on myself than anyone else ever could. And I have this sort of internal guilt trip that makes me feel like I'm never doing enough. I am never working hard enough at work. I am never doing enough in my friendships, my relationships. I am never doing enough for my tarot and astrology channel. I feel so guilty with how long it takes me to make new videos. And at the end of the day, you have to put things in perspective and just say, is this a big deal in the grand scheme of things? Am I putting too much pressure on myself? Is it a big deal? Why are you carrying around all this guilt? So think about those things as you're trying to figure out your path. Try to let go of the things that are not a big deal and just relax and enjoy your life. And finally, you can rescue yourself. This goes right back to the magician, your own personal power, your own force of will, and your own abilities. You have everything you need to get yourself in a good place. You have all the ability, all the potential, all the power. It's just a matter of believing in it. So group 2, I'm going to leave it there. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more of good news in terms of a relationship, but I do hope this was helpful and gave you some guidance, and I hope to see you again in a future reading. Hello, group 3. Let's dive right into your reading. I'll talk to you first about the rune that I pulled for you, and I am so sorry if it's not terribly visible. I'm still working out lighting concept for my setup here. I may have to move some things around to make this work better. But your rune is Othala. This is a rune tied to the idea of inheritance, inherited land, ancestry, genetics, those ancestral ties. So that's a very interesting start for a love reading, but we'll see where it takes us. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that you're gonna accidentally fall in love with your cousin. Like, I promise you that's not where this is going. But it was the first thought that my silly brain had, so I wanted to reassure you. So for the first set of cards, I'm going to ask kind of where and under what circumstances you will find that next relationship. See what we got. All right. Woo! Okay. Feeling good for you, group 3. Spirits are chatty and enthusiastic. Okay. I'm going to stop there because that is more cards than I meant to read for you. Okay, let's see what we got. Try to kind of do them in the order they fell out, but no promises. All right, so first out we have the 4 of Cups. The 4 of Cups is reversed here. 4 of Cups reversed is kind of, it's a card of a little bit of regret. It's a place of like, oh, I didn't take that good thing when it was offered to me. I didn't think I wanted it or needed it, and now I realize I kind of did, and I'm sad and regretful. So if you're in that space right now, group 3, sorry, I'm sorry for you. I've been there myself, and it sucks. 4 of Swords, that's another place of kind of a timeout. It's about, finding some mental stability and retreating to a place that feels safe and comfortable, especially mentally. But 3 of Cups. So I'm seeing you coming out of this, coming out of the regret and the rest and trying to find a safe space and getting back out there and enjoying being around other people again, enjoying company, enjoying lighthearted fun. I know with, COVID at the time that I am giving this reading, that may not seem like an immediate option. It may be more of a finding fun in like an online community or something like that. Or maybe, you know, it's happening, you know, as people get vaccinated and you can kind of begin to go back out in the world again. The Fool reversed. This card, both of these cards actually, the Three of Cups and the Fool reversed, came out in group 1 as well. So if you were feeling drawn to that, you may have some slightly similar circumstances. The Fool reversed is a cautious place. You have taken a leap before and gotten burned, and you're a little bit scared to do it again. But next card out is the Ace of Cups. This is a beautiful opportunity for love. This is you being in a place where your cup is full. You are happy with yourself, you love yourself, and you are in a great place to share that with the world. And somebody else may be offering their cup to you in the near future. There is going to be an opportunity on your horizon. Next card out is the Queen of Cups. That is a beautiful, nurturing, compassionate, really emotionally mature energy, where you have healthy boundaries. You are giving, but not too giving. You are nurturing, but not at your own expense. You have as much self-love as you have love for others. And interestingly, Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is kind of the start of a long learning journey. It's a new obsession, kind of. It's a new fixation. It's a new hobby or a new skill you're pursuing. It is not a brief flash. It is something long-term, but you are at the beginning stages of it. So in terms of where and how you might find someone, I think as you come out of your isolation, as you come out of your place of regret and wishing you'd done things differently, I'm sensing that you have been burned. You're at first just gonna wade out in a very lighthearted, carefree way. You're just gonna wanna get out there again and have fun. But in doing so, you are going to very quickly run into an opportunity for something great. And it may be in the course of exploring something that you've been wanting to start. So if you have been looking at changing your career path, starting a new course of study, starting a new hobby, something like that, I think that you may find your opportunity along that road. So if you're kind of putting off doing any of those things, I would recommend not putting them off because they're going to open other doors for you. I think you won't have to wait long. This opportunity will present itself. It is not something that you're going to have to look for. It will come along soon. So hearing that good news, let's look into what kind of relationship this is going to be. What is it that is on the horizon for you? Okay. All right. Okay. What kind of relationship is this going to be? Couple more cards. Ooh, okay. Well, give me a few more than I intended, which seems to be the theme for you, group 3. But we'll go through them one at a time here. So the first card out is 4 of Coins. Gold that's put to use, more gold begets. It's a quote from Venus and Adonis. So while it seems like it's a very financial investment related card, it is from Venus and Adonis, which is a very romantic relationship. And so I think that it's indicative of a place of stability and security in a relationship, and something where the more you invest in it, the more you will get out of it, which isn't that what we want in a relationship. The next card out is the 7 of Cups, which is a card of a lot of possibilities and inspiration, and just, it can be overwhelming. It can be an overwhelming number of possibilities. The quote on it is, "Come, let's have one other gaudy night," from Antony and Cleopatra. This is my Shakespeare deck, by the way. And this is a card in this sense, I think, about temptation. I think in this road, as you're, in this Three of Cups mode of just having fun, getting back out there, being with people again, you may have more than one opportunity, and you may be tempted to play the field a little too much. So try to avoid too much temptation. Try to avoid being overwhelmed by options. So we have here next up the Page of Swords, Viola, reversed. This is, the Page of Swords reversed is indicative of kind of laying low, not revealing too much, just trying to gather information, not sharing a whole lot. And I'm feeling like that's you. I'm feeling like as you go into this relationship, you're going to be very guarded at first. You're going to be really feeling your way out. You're going to be trying to, I sense you trying to get them to admit their feelings first. And just a word of caution here, though, with the temptation, because, again, four of coins here, more gold begets. You have to invest in it if you want something to come out of it. We have here the Lady of Scepters, which is the Page of Wands. That is more impulsive energy. Seeing a difficult time committing here, kind of. Next card out is the Seven of Coins reversed. The quote on this card is, "When clouds appear, wise men put on their cloaks," from Richard III. With this reversed, I am getting a definite sense of not thinking ahead, of being reckless and paying the price for it, which goes right along with that Page of Swords, Page of Wands, being shady, being reckless, being impulsive, and really feeling like this is your energy and not necessarily your next relationship's energy. Three of Wands reversed, coming out next. The quote on it is from Hamlet, "To thine own self be true." With it reversed, I'm sensing that all of this, the playing the field, the temptation, the recklessness, that's not true to who you are. I am sensing that you are putting on all these things because you're afraid of getting hurt again. And yeah, next card out is the Page of Cups, reversed again. So we've got Page of Swords, Wands, and Cups. These are all novice cards. These are all cards of amateurs, of people who aren't being very serious, who aren't being fully authentic. With Page of Cups reversed, I'm sensing that you don't really want to offer up your cup yet, or you're just not sure. You're not being fully authentic in what you're offering. The next card out is the Hermit. That's telling me that you may need to look within deeply, do some work on yourself before this relationship can really take flight. And it's interesting because I feel like up here you're in a really good place. You've found that self-love and those boundaries, but maybe they're still a little too guarded. Maybe you are still not ready to take risks. You are still in a place of caution because you've been burned before. Oh, and your final card is the Six of Cups reversed. The quote on it is, "Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see," from Hamlet. When the Six of Cups is reversed, it's about being stuck on the past, stuck in a place of nostalgia, maybe wishing for something that's never going to come to be. And going back to your Four of Cups reversed up here, I am thinking that some of what's holding you back is wishing for something that you let pass you by. And in doing so, you may not see what's in front of you. You may miss this new opportunity. So that was a lot of cards, group 3, probably more than you bargained for. I am seeing a bumpy road in this relationship, but I'm also seeing that this advice is coming out to you to help you through this, to guide you, to give you a warning sign of this relationship. I think has a lot of potential. I think it can be something really good, but there's a big warning sign here that you have to invest in it. You have to take it seriously. You have to give it a chance to flourish, because if you play a lot of games, if you stay very guarded, if you're not true to yourself in it, it is gonna flounder. So just a word of caution there. I'm not saying that it's doomed, because it's definitely not. These are cards coming out to give you some insight into yourself so that you can overcome these energies. I really believe that it's not a forecast so much as advice here in this instance. It is advice on how to make this a successful relationship. So for next set of cards, I'm going to ask my astrological deck for sort of any indicators or placements it can give me of who this person is going to be, so that you can identify them and maybe reduce the temptation to look at other options. So let's see if it can tell us kind of what you're looking for. Okay, some answers. All right, so very clear first card that flew out on me, Sun in Taurus. So you may be looking for a Taurus sun, which would go very well in hand with, the 4 of Coins energy that came out over here. It's very stable, very, very solid, but it does require investment. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing Mercury in Libra and Mercury in Pisces. These are both kind of wibbly wobbly Mercury placements here. I don't feel like they're talking about your person so much. They may be. I mean, I am not perfect, and I could be reading this all backwards, and the person that you're going to be dealing with is actually the one who's playing games and is wishy-washy and is stuck on the past, doesn't know where they want to be. But my gut says this is more you. This is more mental indecision, overthinking things, being drawn into temptation, being drawn to shiny objects, not having a clear direction. It feels like more words of caution, because if your person is the Sun in Taurus energy, that very stable energy, they are not going to appreciate somebody who plays a lot of games. They're not going to appreciate someone who doesn't have a plan and know what they want. So again, it feels like a little bit of caution. Again, I could be reading it wrong, but let me see if there's anything else Spirit will give me in terms of how to identify this person that you're looking for. Oh, so much. Okay. So Moon and Scorpio showing up here. Moon and Scorpio, that's a lot of emotional intensity, but it's hidden. That may be you. Sun in Sagittarius. If you, these two energies coming out together, this is someone who seems very, very playful and lighthearted and free and adventurous on the surface, but underneath they are a roiling, boiling mess of emotions that it's very intense. This could be the person that you're dealing with. It could be that this person, because they have this outward flaky energy. Sorry, Sagittarians. I'm a Sagittarius ascendant. I also have outward flaky energy. This could be someone who presents themselves as very wherever the wind blows, like someone who can't be tied down, but it's a mask for the deep, deep, deep feeling within. And so it could be that this is someone who you think is not serious, and then they turn out to be very serious once you find out more. This is a very, very complicated reading, group 3. I'm getting a lot of messages. I'm wondering if there's a few different sets of circumstances here for the people who have chosen group 3, which could always be the case. Okay, Sun and Scorpio wanted to come out too, so I think that's just confirming that there is some Scorpio energy there. There is some intensity, and it's probably a hidden intensity. It's probably something that you may not recognize right off the bat. With that Taurus-Scorpio axis, that is an axis that is all about security and stability. They do not like guesswork. They do not like mysteries. They do not like games. They like to know exactly what they're dealing with. So that could be the person you're looking for. That could be just, a word of caution to you. Take it however it resonates. I'm sure as you go down this road, this will all start to make more sense once you're living it. I'm going to go to my handwritten advice cards next to give you hopefully some clear direction on what you should be doing, what you should be focused on, how to find success in your relationship, how to find this person. And I will say, not every relationship is meant to last. Sometimes they're just meant to teach us things. So it could be a growing pain kind of relationship. Time will tell. Let's see if there's anything else Spirit wants to share. Shuffle a few more times. There are usually a few. Anything else for group 3? Anything they should know? Okay. So let's see what Spirit gave us here. So the first one's out. Very similar cards. The first one is Don't Let Fear Stop You. So again, I'm seeing a lot of guarded energy if that is you. Don't let it stop you. Don't let fear stop you. Don't hold yourself back because you're only going to hurt yourself by doing that. And don't let the world get you down. So if you have been burned in the past, know that that is not always going to be the case. Know that one bad experience is not indicative of every future experience. Things can be different the next time around. That is within your power, really. Share your pain. You will find support. I feel like maybe some of this this Scorpio moon energy is you, group 3. Just some of that hidden intensity that you feel like you can't share. You want to show a lighthearted facade, but there is a lot of hurt there. Don't hide it. Don't hide it and play games and pretend to be something you're not. Again, you had that card, to thine own self be true. That is so important here. Being authentic, being your authentic self, sharing your pain because it is real and it's valid. This one, say you're sorry. I don't know if you have a reason to say you're sorry now or if you will in the future, but that is saying, own it, say it, it will help. That Taurus and Scorpio energy, neither one of them ever likes to be the first to admit that they're wrong or apologize. I'm not saying that's every Scorpio or Taurus, but just that energy in general, very stubborn, very prideful, doesn't like to be the first to budge. So it may be that you burn them a little bit and you're kind of hoping that they'll let you back in for a second chance. You are going to have to be the one to say you're sorry. You are. Yeah, it's very interesting. And then finally, focus on the solution. And I think what that card is telling you as a sort of encapsulating message, group 3, is don't get caught up in the past. Don't get caught up in things you can't change. Don't get caught up in your fears of what might happen. Focus on what you want and how to get there. And take some leaps of faith. Be brave, because that is the solution. That is how you get there. You're never going to get there if you don't try. So group 3, I hope that answers some questions for you. I hope that that was helpful to you. It was a little confusing to me, but I find often that the most confusing readings to me tend to be very spot on for the people who pick them. So maybe you understand it better than I do, being in the situation. But yeah, I hope that that helps you, group 3. I hope that going back to your first set of cards, you do have some beautiful opportunities on the horizon. And I think that Spirit is coming through very strongly, telling you, take those risks. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let past experiences hold you back. Take the risks, make the investments, and good things will happen. So with that, group 3, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope that this helped, and I hope to see you in another reading. All right, group 4, last but certainly not the least. Your rune is kind of one of my favorites so far. I hope that you can see it clearly. It's got kind of just a very simple arrow shape, which very much resonates for me. This rune is Tiwas. It is associated with the god Tyr. It is it's kind of it's a warrior rune. It's about victory in battle, and you know, it's kind of like to liken it back to, you know, the Greco-Roman tradition, Aries, Mars, that fiery battle energy, very forward thrusting and very driven, which, you know, that kind of arrow, spear symbol is very, very direct, very pointed. I like it a lot. Pulls into my Sagittarius ascendant energy very nicely. So to get you started, group 4, I'm going to ask where, how, under what circumstances you are going to find your next relationship. So I'll try to get like 4 cards here. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of group 3 where I have like 7 cards, because that's a lot. But take what I get given. Sometimes I get given a lot more. Okay, let's read what we have here. Okay, first card out, the Tower reversed. I'm gonna pull all these. I never want to jump right into the Tower without knowing what I'm looking at, so let me go a little deeper. The Hermit reversed. Page of Cups reversed. Knight of Cups reversed. So all reversals here. Very interesting. What I'm seeing here with the Tower reversed is some internal changes happening right now, especially with the Hermit reversed. I am seeing that you have been in a space of some deep fundamental changes to who you are, your understanding of yourself, what you want out of life. Just really, something really shook your foundations. And it may not necessarily be a big life event. It's just a big crashing lightning bolt, light bulb kind of moment of realizing that what you thought you wanted, what you were working towards, what you thought you needed was not actually true. And so you've been working within. You have been learning these things, understanding these things, trying to rebuild your foundations and get on more solid footing. And next out we have the Page of Cups reversed. The Page of Cups upright is a very lighthearted, flirtatious, hopeless romantic kind of card, but reversed, I'm sensing that you are not in a flirtatious mood. You are not feeling like playing games, putting yourself out there. You're not about having fun right now. Not that you're not having any fun, but just like, you don't want to date for the sake of dating. You are not interested in casual flirtation. With the Knight of Cups reversed as well, I think what you're realizing here is that maybe what you've had in the past has not fulfilled you. What you've had in the past was what you thought you wanted, but it wasn't. And I think I'm just getting the sense, group 4, like you're in a place where you have been there, done that with relationships. You have had casual flings, you have had long-term relationships, you've had it all, you've seen it all, done it all. And I'm getting a sense that you're over it. You've realized that what you were pursuing in the past was not at all what you wanted or needed. And you have a totally new view now of what that is. And so you're not in the mood to play around. You're not in the mood to go on dating sites and trial and error your way through dating. You just want to find your person because you already know what you want and what you need. And let me see if Spirit has any more cards on this level of questioning, because I feel like this tells me very clearly where you are, but it doesn't tell me where you find your person. How will they find them? Page of Wands reversed coming out here. Very similar to this Page of Cups energy, feeling cautious, feeling, the Page of Wands is all about just boldly striking out on whatever journey they feel like and not really worrying about the consequences. Reversed like this, you're very worried about the consequences. I think right now you're in the planning stages of something. You're thinking about something you want to do, you're thinking about embarking on something, but you're not ready to take action yet. You're mulling it over, you're figuring it out, you're figuring out what your next steps are. Yeah, and that is confirmed with, so we actually have, so here's the Hanged Man, but it came out reversed. The Hanged Man reversed is, if you've been in a stasis for a while, you're getting to a point where you're ready to come down. You're ready to come out of that. You're ready to move forward. What circumstances? Where? How? Okay. And the Ace of Swords. So I think the reason I'm not getting a clear picture on where your next relationship is going to come in is because it is pending a huge awakening realization on your part. The Ace of Swords is like the Tower, but less painful. It is a light bulb moment. It is a moment of so much clarity and purpose and understanding, and it just cuts through everything else, and it gives you a whole fresh start with this new frame of mind. That is what we're waiting on for you. It's going to happen in its own time. It's not something that can be forced. It just takes patience and continuing to work on yourself. But the minute that you have this, and the minute that you have this moment of clarity and truth and understanding, I feel like that's when it all opens up, and that's when things are going to start moving. So let me see if Spirit can tell me anything about what's on the horizon for you. To give you something to look forward to give you that hope. My question in the past groups has been, what kind of relationship will it be? But for you, I'm going to keep it more open-ended. Just, what's on the horizon for group 4? What can they hope for, look forward to? What's on its way? Okay. Take those two. Shuffle that one back in. Okay, got a lot going on. Right. So we had some very clear cards jumping out here, so I think that this is a good thing. It's a clear message. Okay, 8 of Coins, first one out. The quote on it is from Othello. This is my Shakespeare deck. How poor they are that have not patience. Clear indicator, group 4, you kind of need to just have patience, keep chugging away, keep working on things, keep working on yourself, and it will come. We have the 9 of Swords. Quote is, where care lodges, sleep will never lie, from Romeo and Juliet. This is a card of anxiety. This is a card of overthinking. Going right along with the idea of patience, I think you need to, the state of Ace of Swords, that mental clarity, is going to come when you get rid of all of this, when you release the anxiety and overthinking and come to a place of acceptance of, acceptance that what is meant for you is going to come, and you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to stress over it. Next card out is the 2 of Swords reversed. In the Shakespeare deck, it is a quote from Hamlet: to be or not to be, that is the question. And that is kind of the ultimate thing with the 2 of Swords. Upright, it is just pure deliberation. Do I be? Do I not be? I have no idea. When it's reversed, it can mean one of two things. It can mean that you are avoiding even thinking about the question, which is possible. But from the 9 of Swords here, I don't think you're avoiding thinking about it. I think you're thinking about it way too much. I think in this instance, with it reversed, it's about resolving it. It's about, honestly, I think it may even be about figuring out if you're even asking the right question. Or realizing that there's no point to asking the question. If you're just sitting around asking yourself, what will I do? When will it come? How will I find it? What, the constant questioning. This is a message to just let it go. Your questions will be answered when they're going to be answered, and you will have clarity. You will have truth. You just need to be patient, and you need to let things unfold in their own time, because you are still coming out of a lot of change and a lot of significant development of your own, and there's no need to rush here, is what I'm feeling. Shuffled for another card, I got the 5 of Wands reversed, which is just chaotic. It's internal chaos. The quote on it is, a horse, my kingdom for a horse, from Richard III. It's that chaos of battle. You're frantic. You're looking everywhere for a solution. With this reversed, that feeling is all internalized. It's not happening outside. Outside, everything's fine. Inside, you are frantic. Inside, you are looking everywhere. You are pulled every which way. You are trying to figure out your way out of this. I think that is part of why that two of Swords is coming out reversed, because it is saying, calm down your energy. You don't need to answer this question right now. You just need to have patience and release that anxiety. I really think more than anything, Spirit is just asking you to have faith. Just have faith and be patient and do you, and don't worry about it. Don't question so much, because that's going to lead you down roads you don't need to go down. Keep focusing on your plans and your dreams and your goals, and don't worry so much about how it's all going to unfold. Final. Oh yeah, this is a good outlook for you, Group 4. It's a really good outlook. So I see Queen of Swords. Going right back into that Ace of Swords, this is mental clarity. This is understanding. This is truth. This is intellectual truth, and it's also wisdom. It's a deeper intuitive understanding. You are going to have clarity, and you are going to reach a really clear-minded space. And when you do, you are going to be fully in your own power. That's what the Magician indicates. It indicates that when you reach this mental clarity, and I think when I say mental clarity, it really just means clearing your mind of all the clutter, clearing your mind of all the nonsense, clearing your mind of anxiety, fear, worry, questions. Just kick them out. As soon as you do that and focus in on what you really want and what you really need, you will start manifesting it, and it will come to you, and you will be living fully in your power, and there will be no need for anxiety or worry or questions. It's just going to come, and it's going to come naturally. So yeah, very clear message for you, group 4, is just kind of have patience and have faith and clear your mind, and this is all going to work out. I'm going to try. I'm getting a sense from Spirit that they're not really ready to tell you what your next relationship is going to be. I sense that there very much is one, but it's kind of like, no, you're not meant to worry about it right now, because if you worry about it, you're not going to get where you need to go. But I'm going to try to pull some cards to see what that next relationship, what that person is going to look like, how you'll recognize them when you meet them. Yeah, getting a whole lot of nothing. All right, can you tell us astrologically what kind of energy group 4 should be focused on? What kind of energy should they pull in? Oh, we've got some. Okay. Whew, okay. All right. I'm going to take that one. Yeah. Okay. All the Gemini. Okay. Okay. All right. I think these are the most pertinent ones. Sometimes these cards are so slippery, I have to just kind of be like, Spirit, which one did you actually want to show me? Moon and Virgo. This is the overthinking energy. This is analysis paralysis. You are so focused on figuring out your feelings and analyzing them down to the bone and understanding every nitty-gritty detail of them, that you're not just feeling them, and you're cluttering up your mind. Sun in Leo. This may be you. You know who I'm talking to if you picked this group. But it may be you, it may be the person that you're waiting on, it may just be some energy that you need to inhabit. Sun in Leo is very expressive, it's very vital, it's very warm and generous and free. It feels like you just need to bask in the sunshine a little bit. Just let yourself shine, be yourself, enjoy it. A lot of Gemini cards coming out, and a lot of air coming out. So Mercury and Sun in Gemini. One of my favorite sayings that I say to one of my friends is to embrace the Gemini way. This is not true for everyone. Some people have too much Gemini, like me. Mars in Gemini as well was in here. And also air power. The Gemini way, though. Gemini energy is about experimental learning. It is about trying things and seeing what works and what doesn't, and trying more things. And it's very much about innate curiosity, being willing to keep exploring even when things go very wrong the first time. And Gemini in its best form learns from its mistakes, but is still willing to take risks to learn, is still willing to experiment and play and find their way to the answers. It's opposite Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius energy wants to go seek out the answers. They want to go seek out temples of higher learning. They want to read. They want to ask questions. They want other people to tell them the answers. It's still exploratory. It's still willing to go look for the answers, but it's much more cautious in its own weird way, which is not something people would normally associate with Sagittarius energy. But in terms of how it likes to learn, it likes to learn from other people's experience first and its own experience second. Gemini does not like to learn from other people's experience. They are learn the hard way types. They have to learn it for themselves. Any number of people can tell them what will happen if they do something. They won't believe it until they try it themselves. In your instance, group 4, I think you need to be a little more playful. You need to be a little more willing to try things. Be willing to fail. This air power, it ties in so much. We had so many swords in this reading. The Queen of Swords, the Ace of Swords, that mental clarity. Swords are all associated with air. Air is that mental, intellectual space. It is mental acuity, freedom of movement, free thinking. I feel like Gemini and Virgo are square signs, and they have a lot of the same energy because they're both ruled by Mercury. They're both highly analytical, highly logical, highly detailed, but Gemini moves a little more freely out of that space. Virgo, being an earth sign, is a little more rooted. And so that's where that analysis paralysis comes in, because they are being so analytical and so logical and so focused on the details. They get stuck in place. Gemini, yes, analyzes things to death and can be incredibly overthinking. But Gemini has a much easier time moving out of a space than Virgo does. And so I think that that's your word of advice here is to be more flexible, be more mutable, be able to move out of that space. Don't get stuck in overthinking. Some other cards that came out are kind of interesting. We have Venus in Aquarius, which is more air energy. Venus in Aquarius could be an indicator of what you're looking for in someone. It could also be Venus in Aquarius values community ties, those broader relationships. It's less about the one-on-one relationship and more about feeling a part of something, feeling a part of a group. So maybe that's a little bit what you're looking for here. Maybe that's a little bit of a guidepost. Neptune in Taurus is interesting. Neptune is all about imagination and dreams, and it's very expansive energy. And putting it in Taurus is so earthly. It is so material. It is very rooted to the earthly plane. I think this is an indicator to allow your imagination to flow in the material world. Allow yourself to imagine the surroundings as you really want them to be. Allow yourself to enjoy earthly comforts. I would say everything in moderation, but for me, this card indicates bring your imagination back down to earth. Take it out of the astral plane and bring it more into your physical world. And finally, Saturn in Pisces. I think that ties right back into Neptune and Taurus, honestly, because Saturn is also earthly energy. It's Capricorn energy. It's restrictive. It's disciplined. It reins in. And reining in Pisces energy is kind of the same as bringing Neptune back down to earth, because Neptune rules Pisces. It's about reining in your imagination just enough that you can not get lost in it. It's about, I think it's just about being down to earth, being rooted in a healthy way. If you do any like chakral work, maybe work on your root chakra a little bit. You're maybe a little too up in the headspace. A lot of different cards there, but I think the overall energy is be willing to try things, especially on the material plane. Be willing to experiment. Be willing to take risks with your environment, with your physical self, I'm not telling you to endanger yourself, but just be willing to put yourself out there, I think is what it is. Be flexible in thought. Be open to whatever ideas come along. Be open to trying new things. To wrap you up, group 4, I'm going to ask for some cards from my advice deck. These are my handwritten advice cards. They can be more direct messages, so I like to leave it with them. Give you some final words of guidance here. So, what should we tell group 4? Kind of wanted to pop, but it didn't. So, let's see if they come back out. Guidance for group 4. Did I already talk it to death? Okay. That's the section that wanted to come out. So we will go with it. There are a lot of cards here. I'm going to read through them quickly, but Spirit spat them all out, so I'm going to take them. So, as I said, I'll read through these quickly. Take what resonates. Some of these may be very specific to certain people. Some of these may be very broad. Remain optimistic. Totally. That 9 of Swords energy, releasing that anxiety. Take time to enjoy the little things. Neptune in Taurus, enjoying the earthly plane, enjoying little things. There is magic all around you. Open your eyes and see. Again, bringing that imagination down to the earthly plane, seeing the magic that's available to you. Okay, go back to your roots. What I said about root chakra, when it comes to, the tower moment you've had, maybe time to shore up your foundations, go back to them, see how you want to rebuild them. You need this to grow. So you are in a growing space, and it's important that you give yourself the time to grow, and be patient with yourself. Learn from your mistakes. So whatever mistakes may have led you to where you are now, just put them to good use. That's the Gemini energy. That's, you experimented, you got the result, you take that knowledge, you apply it to the next time. It's the scientific method. But it really does apply to life. You tried something, didn't work, try something different the next time. Put yourself out there. Yes, that Gemini energy, try things, put yourself out there. Don't let fear hold you back. Okay, what would grandma say? That's one of my favorites. If you have a grandmotherly figure, as some kind of maternal ancestral figure that you would used to go to for advice, think about what they would tell you to do. And know that they are looking out for you. That is what I always take from this. Someone is looking out for you when that card comes out. It happened for a reason. So whatever happened, whatever has gone along, there was a reason for it. You may not know it now. You may not know it for a while, but there was a reason, and have faith. There's a bumpy road ahead, but you have to take it. I think that goes back again to being willing to experiment. You may fail, you may fall down, but you will learn from it, and it will help you in the long run. Try again tomorrow. If something hasn't worked out today, try again tomorrow. Gemini energy all the way. Just try again. Try something else. Don't take life too seriously. Don't overthink it. Don't get stuck in your 9 of Swords. Don't focus so much on the questions. Just go. Just flow. Just try things. Just have fun. This is a gift from the universe. Take it. Whatever space you're in right now, it is actually a gift from the universe, something that is going to help you grow, help you become better. Don't fight it, embrace it. And there's a lesson to be learned. So group 4, this is very clearly a time of some personal growth, introspection. I think the cards are very clear here. This, more than anything, is a time to have fun and try things. Don't worry so much about the results. Don't worry so much about where you're going. Don't worry so much about where you're supposed to be. You are not going to miss out on what you're meant for. It will come across your path. The best way to ensure that you will get it is to just keep trying things. you're not going to miss it. You are not. You are too smart, too savvy. You have so much swords energy here. You have learned your lessons. You know what you're doing. And from this tower and hermit situation, you have rebuilt your foundations in a way that you know now what you want, what you need. You will recognize it when it comes across your path. Right now, all Spirit wants you to do is be patient and be open. Be open-minded. Try things. Put yourself out there. So, group 4, I hope that was helpful to you. I'm sorry it didn't give you more predictive information, but Spirit tells what it wants to tell. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again in another reading.